This one actually isn't too bad once you know where to go in StatCrunch for it. So we're finding a linear regression for the rate of return of a certain stock company, right? Compared with the rate of return of a certain index, right? So to get to the table, you're going to click this little value over here, that little table box. And then when you click this little box here, you can open it in StatCrunch, and it takes all of this data that's in this table and puts it into StatCrunch for you. Now, again, what we're doing here is we're doing this for a linear regression. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Stat, and you'll go to Regression, and we need Simple Linear. And from here, if you look at this little menu here, we have hypothesis tests. It does it for both the intercept and the slope. We also have confidence intervals we can do, and we can even do the prediction of y. So all three of these things over here, p-value, c, which was the upper and lower bound, and then the mean rate of return, predicting what it would be, you can do it all from this menu. So let's talk about the hypothesis test first. So first of all, you got to choose your variables, and it'll already label your columns for you. So our variables here, our rate of returns will be x, and then rate of returns for the company will be y. When we perform the hypothesis test, the thing is, if we're going to have a linear model, we want the slope not to be 0, right? So we have this set up here that the alternative is that it is not 0, which is kind of the thing that we're actually looking for, our claim. And we just click compute. So when you click compute here, let me just make this a little bit bigger. See if I can widen this up a little bit. Okay, so what we have here, when you look at this table, you have the parameter of intercept and the parameter of slope. You want to look at the parameter of slope. So for slope, your t-stat is here, and then your p-value is here. And the p-value, I think, is what you had to report. Yes, p-value is what you had to report here. So notice they're rounding to 3 decimal places. And you're done with your p-value, which is great. Now remember, if the p is low, you reject h-naught, right? So if the p is low, h-naught has to go, the null has to go. So here, because it's larger than 0.10, we don't reject h-naught, okay? Now, in order to run the confidence interval, what you're going to do is go back. You can press options. You don't have to actually close this out and do another one. You can just edit what you have. And now instead of running the hypothesis test, we're going to go ahead and run the confidence interval. And they wanted the confidence interval, I think, at 90%. And I think that we also had to figure out what the prediction of y is. I can't remember what the value was. Let me just go back here and minimize this. Yeah, it was 90% confidence interval, and then they wanted to know the mean rate of return if the return of the index is 3.25. So let's go back here. So you just choose this little box down the bottom here in the lower left-hand corner. Click it again. Now I'm back to StatCrunch. So what I'm going to do here, it said 3.25, so I'm going to put the x value of 3.25, and you know what, I'm just going to put the level at 90%, just like the confidence interval, and we'll see if that gets us the right answer there. And click compute. So here's our table again. Let's look at our values here. So if you look for the slope, again, this is going to give you both the intercept and the slope, right? The lower limit will be here for your slope, and your upper limit will be here. And I think they're rounding to 4 decimal places. Yep, so they're getting the same values over here, just rounded to 4 decimal places. And then down here, our predicted values, we wanted for 3.25. The predicted y would be 3.7. I think that they wanted to round you to 2 decimal places, so we'd say 3.71. Let me see if that's correct. Oh no, they wanted 3, so 3.706. I think that's what we got as well. Okay, so just click similar question down here at the bottom, and you can try this problem again utilizing StatCrunch. Let me know if you need any more help on that one.